All right. So we are recording this English speaking session. I'm so glad that I'm counting with you here. Guys, let's jump for our first topic to speaking today. And here I put, so of course I put my country, but it can be for everyone. It can, you can answer about your own country. So the first question is going to be for you, Alice. It's your turn. What is your country famous for? What do you know about this? What people think about China when we are talking about countries? What people came to their minds at the first when talk about China? What do you think about that?
Mm. Okay, first, my country has the most population around the world. And I think this is a very famous aspect of our country. Besides, our country is a very big developing country, and in the past few years, our country has developed a lot. Not a lot, I developed very quickly. And besides, we have some wonders in our country. There are one of the seven wonders around the world. The Great Wall is in my country, and our country is also one of the most famous ancient civilizations. Ancient China is one of the four big civilizations, I guess. Okay,
Yes,
that's all.
yes, indeed. I've heard about audio just said I have heard a lot about China. So the Great Wall is one of the seven wonders of the world, and there are so many people. They call that China is one of the most popular population all over the world. And but at the same time it's one of the biggest country all over the world too. So there are a lot of things which is very famous about China. So thank you to share that. I agree with all your points. Now it's you, Ta. Tell us a little bit about your country. What is your country famous for?
This question, if someone asks all like many people in Cambodia, if someone asks this question, they will answer Uncle Wat Temple. In Cambodia, the famous like well-known Uncle we call Uncle Wat Temple. You can see it in my country flag. Did you see it? We call Uncle Wat Temple. It's
Maybe I can see, but we have a difficult to understand you. Are you speaking? Your voice is quite low sometimes. Can you repeat?
oh really? Now you hear me clearly?
Yes, now
Okay.
it's better.
I would like to answer again. In this question, is you ask many people in Cambodia, they will answer the same answer. Like we will say Angkor Wat Temple because in Cambodia, the well-known we call Angkor Wat Temple that we can see it in Cambodian flag. It's
Nice.
like
Yes.
yes, it's very famous. Foreigner they from other country they came to visit Cambodia and never forgot to go to visit Angkor Wat Temple. It's very
Yes.
famous.
Very famous temple. Yes.
Angkor Wat Temple.
Uncle a temple. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice, nice. I've heard, and sometimes I search some information about Cambodia just to see a little bit, just to know a little bit better your country. And this is the
Yes,
first
it's
thing which
long time ago. This temple it's long time ago, like
yes.
100 times ago. Like
Yes, and
our
the first thing which is appears when you look at Google, when you are searching or made some researches about your country, the first image, the first picture that Google show you is exactly the temple, the Templar, yes, the ancient temple.
yes Angkor Wat Temple.
Yes, uncle a
Yeah.
temple. So after that, could you type it at your chat? Type it. How can I
Yeah,
write
yeah.
this?
Yes, I will tell.
Okay. So thank you for sharing. And now it's your turn, Rajesh. Tell us a little bit about your country. What is your country famous for? What do you think when people are talking about Bangladesh? What is the first thing that gonna happen, gonna comes on their minds?
Well, it's a very nice question. Actually, our country is very beautiful. If whenever any tourist to visit my country, then they feel so good. Actually, my country is famous for is rice, jute. Actually, we every year we grow a lot of lot of rice in my country and jute as well as sometimes we. And we also grow a lot of vegetables. Sometimes we export the vegetables in the another countries. It's like India and some countries as well as. And my country's natural beauties is so much. And if you the especially the Cox's Bazar, Sundarban is a very beautiful site in my country, and my country atmosphere is very good. The six seasons in my country: the summer, rainy, autumn, late autumn, and spring and winter. And every year, the season looks so much beautiful, and the if any people see the rainy season, then they will love in the rainy season and the spring and respectively the winter is very nice. And my very famous in my country is the hospitality. The peoples are so hospitality minded. They treat their guest as like the God sent, and these are very interesting and very famous in the world. Hospitality issues. That's it.
Oh, that's nice. What a beautiful things that you have. So, Bangladesh is quite famous. I always heard about Bangladesh, but to be honest, I don't know. So, I don't know many information about your country. Maybe the next time we kind of practice just speaking about your
You
country.
have no any idea how many people are crazy for the Brazil football team, and you have no any idea about the Argentina football team. Every year the
Really?
World Cup, every year the World Cup season is just craziest people in for the Brazil and Argentina. And I am the diehard fan of the Argentina, and my favorite player is Messi. And every time I pray for my team, Argentina. And my
Really? No, no, you
really,
can't say that, man.
my some of friends, my some of close friends, is always praying to their mosque and temple prayer house for the Brazil team, Neymar, Vinicius Junior for them. And I also pray for my God. I also pray for my God for the Messi and my Argentina team. You have no
Yeah,
idea how craziest fan in my country for Argentina and Brazil, especially very big fan for Argentina and Brazil in Bangladesh.
nice to know.
I want to explain you. I'm living a divisional area and my site area, zonal area. Uh, this last World Cup in 2022, 4 kilometer flag in the Brazil, and the opponent group they up the 4.5 kilometer Argentina flag. It's very interesting, and it happens every World Cup session.
Oh
That's
man, that's
that's,
crazy.
that's
That's crazy. Nice, nice. So I didn't know. I don't even know that, but now I gonna remember every time that Brazil join the field, join the play. I gonna remember about Bangladesh people. They
If you
are
search the YouTube channel, if YouTube video, and if you just write the craziest friend of Brazil and Argentina, and they can then you can then you could understand.
okay. I gonna look at that on the YouTube after. So thank you for sharing that. That's very interesting. And now let me know about you, Tanvir. What is your country famous for? I remember that Rajesh, Armin, and you are both at the same country, but let me know what do you think about this topic?
Thank you, Alex, for your question. Same question answer the Rajesh brother, and same answer. I would like to say that our country is domestic country. There are so many famous for our countries, and such as one of the such as rice or jute, or one of the most famous for our country is cloth. Cloth export every countries over the world, and I think you know that our country's cloth is so premium, and so quality is so good. That's why our country's cloth export every country here. And one of the most earned side our country, one of the most earned side is cloth export or input. That's why I think it's most famous for our country. And another thing is tourism is one of the tourism is especially best side for our country represent tourism, and such as Shazek Valley or some place. Another important place is Cox's Bazar. Cox's Bazar is one of the most famous place, and it is so there are so many people gather in this place, and every day or every season. Or another thing that our country is so beautiful weather, and so beautiful people living in our country. And our country's people is so hospitality. uh, Rajesh brother said that told that you. And people when traveling our countries, and other from other countries, and our countries people so respond and respect him. It's better for this world, it's better for this world, and it's better for society.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
That's it.
you're right. Thank you for sharing this information with us here.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to know about your country, Sky. But I'm so sorry. I gonna not ask you about this question, about the same question for Charming, because we already know your country now. But Charming, it's your turn now. I'd like to know a little bit about travel related to your country. So when you talk about travel, where was the last place you visited on holiday? Could you remember? Could you explain?
Sorry, Alex, can you please repeat the questions? Actually, my net connection is a little bit poor.
Yes, yes, I do. I can. The first question is, where was the last place you visited on holiday?
Our last place. mm, Actually, I didn't get enough time this during these days. So last time I went at my city's most renowned university field. It's called Anand Mohan Field, and it's quite a nearest place from my place. And it's place that is like a street food is available in there. So sometimes we get when we get enough time, or sometimes when we feel boring in our place, then we go to and then we go there and eat some street food, and sometimes gossip with friends. And it's like near in the nearest the nearest place, and it's the most popular site in my city now. So, and it's this university is one of the most renowned university in my country and also in Asia. It's one of not one of the it's the ranking number, I didn't know remember, but it's most popular university in our country. So, and this university's field is most popular for street food, like you know about fuchka chotpoti, and it's one of the most popular street food in our country. So in this place, there are lots of street food cart for this fuchka chotpoti, and sometimes we feel bored in our place, and we go there. And last a few days ago, actually maybe sorry, yesterday, uh, maybe yesterday or that next day, we went there with my friend. Actually, also my roommate. I went there and spent some time, and we eat some street food, and also chicken chow mein,
Nice.
and burger, some street food actually. And we came back after 30 minutes, and it's the closest place from my yeah, home. So whenever I get time, and I went there to spend some time and eat some street food.
Wow, that was nice. Seems to have a lot of delicious food there. I hope here in Brazil we have some similar things. They call the food trucks, food trucks, which is some bakeries, some restaurants, which is on the road, which is on the build it on the cars, build it on the trucks. And it's very interesting because we can enjoy a lot of different taste of foods at the same place because they're a lot of vehicles with a lot of things building on it, and it's always funny, it's always delicious to have a time to eat some street foods on the food trucks, of course, but they
Yeah,
carry just
and in our country it's also same like of that, but it's not like it's moving place to place, but it's just attached in one place, and they
yes, I got you.
sell every day in the same place actually.
I got you. We have the boats
Actually,
here, we have boat.
in our country, people, all of the Bengali people love food. So actually, Bengali means food lover.
Who
We
don't
can, and
who don't
in our country, all of the Bengalis like traditional food. And for this, yeah, actually, sometimes our old generation and old citizens, they told us their old times, and in their old times they loved most of the foods, and they eat all of the foods like in enormous dishes, and traditional food is the most popular popular food in our country. And like
Yeah.
some time ago I told you that biryani is the most famous item in our country.
Yeah, I got you what you just said. But without further ado, just to have other opportunities to speaking, let's jump for the next question here. Alice, it's your turn. I'd like to know about you the second question. Would you like the first and the second question? You can answer the both because one is related to other. So the first question, where was the last place you visited on holiday? And would you like to go back there again? Tell us a little bit about your last travel. I really would like to know a little bit more about your international travel that you did with your husband, the last vacation that you got. So, or if you had something to say after that, go ahead. I'd like to know about your experience. Tell us a little bit about this.
Okay. This April, I visited Europe with my husband, and unfortunately, after that, I haven't had any opportunity to have any international travel. But we really enjoyed our last international travel because that was the first time we visited Europe, and it was very beautiful, especially Italy. Italy is a fantastic country. There are a lot of remains, museums, and art galleries in Italy. Besides, I also like the architectures in Italy. So all in all, um, I I love this country very much, and I will definitely go back there in the future. And I hope I can have this opportunity soon. Um, Besides, I also visited other countries in Europe in the last trip. I visited Slovenia and Hungary. These two countries are also very beautiful. Um, Slovenia is very quiet. It's just like Switzerland. The nature there is very beautiful, and I visited some natural tourist attractions such as Blood Lake. It was I think I can't use any word to describe its beauty. But it's really beautiful. Mm, the and the and the sea and the beach in Slovenia are also very beautiful. I visited some very small towns, such named Piran and Koper. Those towns are very quiet. There are not many tourists, but it was very beautiful. I can only use beautiful, amazing, and fantastic to describe the tourist attractions in Europe. But uh, I will definitely go there in the future. Okay, that's all.
That was awesome. It's always awesome to hear about travel abroad because, and unfortunately, I had no opportunity yet to travel abroad, to travel outside of my country, which means I always travel the middle of my country. Always travel for other states here, but when it comes to say international traveling, yet unfortunately, I had no opportunity, but maybe in the future, because that's why exactly I'm studying English. Because if I had my English in a good mood, maybe my company can send me to join in some places from all over the world. Actually, the company which I'm working for has offices in Singapore and how can I say in Europe too. I don't know exactly where it is, but where is it? But there are a lot of offices in Singapore and some countries of Europe as well. And I hope maybe one day I can go there just to know, even just to know, just to use my English, just to practice English. It's gonna be awesome. And but without before that happen, I can just practice and study and just hear you speaking about your country, speaking about your experience. So the next question, it's gonna be for you. Let me see here, Rajesh. It's your turn. Rajesh, where was the last place you visited on holiday, and would you like to go back there again?
Oh, very, very nice question. Alex, I told you that I'm a travel lover person and I have a group, travel group. So whenever we get any free times, so then I go to any attractive and very tourist place in my country. Last week I went, me and some of my friends went to the uh, our traditional area Silet, Sunamganj. Actually, you could not understand the place about, but the place is very beautiful. It's a Howard area, and we stayed there one night, 2 days, and we had a lot of fun together. We whole night we stay in the river, and we campfire, barbecue, and just fun. Everybody just fun together, and the peoples are so good. And the local peoples are supported us very much because we are stranger there. But whenever welcome them very good way, then the idea about ourselves, the people, the stranger is very good person, so they can we can help them any times, any ways. And then I had a lot of fun, and the place is so uh, charming. And I just stayed there one night, 2 days, but a lot of memories. And whenever I remember my last tour spot in my imagination, and then I feel I have to go one more times. And of course, coming the winter season, I of course I shall go there, and also my friends. That's it.
Nice, nice. What a beautiful story, man. As I ask you for the personal and professional guy related to traveling, so you should maybe you have a lot of other interesting stories for tell us here. But of course, the time is up. The time is not allowed to do it. But it's always learn. It's always interesting to understand or to hear professional guide tell us a little bit about some beautiful place. So thank you for sharing that, Rajesh, with us. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So the next question is for you, Ta. It's your turn. Where was the last place you visited on holiday, and would you like to go back there again? Tell us a little bit about it. How is your free time?
Yes. The last place that I was visited 2 weeks ago, I went to I went to Palace. Palace. Yeah. In Cambodia, we have Palace and the riverside around Palace, and I went there with my friend. Just enjoy the street food like meatball, barbecue, like yes, barbecue meatball, and we just sit and walk. We just sit and look around the palace. There are a lot of tourists, a lot of foreigners like America, French, just a lot, and we just go there and also have like market that they sell at night. They open it at night, and at night we we can go and just look around, just nothing. But it's very fun. It's very fun for us.
Nice,
But
nice. What a beautiful place. And but as I told you guys, every country has your own beautiful things. So it's always nice to hear about that. But let's jump for the next topic with before we ask it to the next partners here. To now, for now, we're gonna practice about transport because as we heard about a lot of the same countries here, now we're gonna ask you for you, Charming. First question is going to be to you. Transport. First question is, do you prefer public transportation or private transportation? Why? Charming, it's your turn. Can you hear us? Charming are cooking. You are cooking again,
No,
Charming.
no, 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 no. I'm not cooking. Actually, I was talking with my roommate, so I didn't hear your question.
Tell him that you are studying English. Tell him that you cannot speak with him now. You are in the middle of the English season.
Yeah, actually, I discussed with my tomorrow's classes.
I'm kidding. I'm just
Okay,
kidding. Go ahead.
did you ask about question number one?
Yes, it's it.
Actually, in my country, both of these transportation sector is allowed for everyone, and most of the people of our in our country, and they used public transport, and private transport also, they also use private transport. But in our country there are few scope to use public transport, and it's basically used for some renowned universities and on job section. But most of the most of the transportation sector is private, and they are using for with their owners. So sometimes when we are in universities or in a job section, then we can use public transport, and it's also used when government job holder, they are used public transportation. But most of the time private transportation is very useful for all of the people, because whenever they want they can use it. But in public transportation it's quite like when we engaged in a setup, in a time setup, time management is a very most very important thing for public transportation. And for this reason sometimes people use private transportation. But actually normal people usually use public transportation. But when they are getting in higher society or something, in also middle society, people also use private transportation. But most of the people, normal people actually, they use public transportation, and I also use public transportation. Private transportation is like for rich people actually. I think that of because it's very expensive for people, so they can't use private transportation when they are in a middle society living, and they lead their basic rights when they are traveling or they are going anywhere. Then they always use public transportation. So I think public transportation is good for anyone, but when it's come to a comfortable journey, then we can use public transportation. Another way we can say that it's very expensive for all, so everyone can't afford this. So when it's like a normal people and they lead a normal life, then they use public transportation. So it's depends on every man's every people's status, what they belongs to. So it's
Yeah,
definitely easy, definitely comfortable to use private transportation, but it's also very hard to afford it. So
exactly.
if you are not very rich, then you can use the public transportation. And most of the people there, when they are live in a poverty line, then they use public transportation. And I also prefer public transportation is good, but actually everyone can't afford this. So I think public transportation is good, but also our in our country there are poor maintenance, so it's quite bad also.
Yes,
So
yes, I
that's
know. I got it. And to be honest, yesterday we discussed about Brazil with my colleague, which I told you, his name is Gustavo. We were talking about the same topic yesterday, and when I asked him, because we know our country, the conditions of our country. So, but just even him and I, we both believe that in the future, public transportation is going to be one of the, it's already, but it's going to be the future, the best transport, the best type of transportation all over the world. Because if we can talk about, for instance, airplanes and bus and subway, so these three ways of transportation, public because it's quite lower, to you pay just a little bit money. Not it's not so expensive to use a subway, to use a bus, or to use a train. It's quite cheaper. then you can, maybe people cannot afford a car, cannot afford maybe a private airplane, a private helicopter, or things like that. So people use more public transportation. But in the future, we believe that public transportation it's going to be better, much better than it is now, because we needed public transportation. There's no way to eliminate the public transportation because we have so many people all over the world. And as Charmy just said for us here, public transportation is the common way to go to the job, to come back to our house. We use that. Can you imagine it? Just one bus here in Brazil, and one bus, we can transport it at least 100 people at the same time. Almost 100 people at the same time. Can you imagine if each one of these people has your own car on the road at the same time? Can you imagine how hard it's going to be? Our traffic, the traffic is going to be crazy. It's already crazy, but it's going to be worse than it's not. And public transportation is the key to future. We needed to develop it. And here in Brazil, we have some subways. We talked about that. We have I believe it was just in São Paulo, which is a huge city. But unfortunately, the other states has not subway yet, but they should build it, because subway can help so much the traffic and the time that we lose on the traffic, on the way of our job, the way to places. And thank you so much, Charmy, to sharing that. Now it's Denver. Denver, it's what's up to you. It's easy. Now I'd like to ask you the number 3. Is it easy to catch a bus in your country? Tell us a little bit. If you'd like to went to the job or went to the college, is it easy to catch a bus?
I cannot hear you talking.
Okay, so let me answer. Let me ask again.
Some lack of.
The number 3. Is it easy to catch a bus in your country?
Okay. Alex, sorry, I cannot hear your voice.
Okay, maybe our connection is bad. Everyone can
Can
hear
you
me
repeat
well?
please?
Let me just check in here my internet
Connection
connection.
is slow.
Let me just check in here. Just a
Okay.
second, Xander. Alice, can you hear me?
Actually, in our country,
Charmy?
our weather is not so good, so that our internet connection is very poor. So
Okay.
that's why maybe he can't understand your word.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Charmy. So, Denver, if you could understand, maybe you can answer about the third question.
Yeah. Every question answer I can try. I will try every question answer send you.
Okay,
Okay,
just
let's
answer the number 3. Is it easy to catch a bus in your country? Is it easy to catch a bus? Is it easy to use a bus to go to the places at your country? Or it's quite hard to use a bus?
Alex, if you do not mind, I try to every question answer send you, but
Okay,
it is okay.
okay, go ahead.
Uh,
Which one?
Okay, transportation is one of the most things of our life, and there are so many transportation in our countries and in our cities, but one of the most popular transportation is public transportation, and I prefer to public transportation when I go to when I go to college, when I go to market, because I am a student. That's why I do not have a private transportation, and I am from middle class family. That's why I use always public transportation. Our country rich people use private transportation, and they prefer private transportation, but I always prefer to public transportation because its rent is so low, and its rent you know, you understand rent means. Okay.
Not, to be honest, not. Could you repeat? What type of bill?
Okay, it's cost. It's cost. Cost. I think
Ah,
it's cost.
it's
Okay.
cost. Okay, yes, I know, I got you.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I understand. And then our transportation. Our hometown is one of the most popular transportation is CNG or auto. That means it's like private car, but its cost is so lowest cost, and every person easily transport another place, easily commute by public transportation, CNG or auto, any another place or office or college. And other questions I try to answer is when I use popular our hometown popular transportation CNG, and I am easily catch the bus or bus, because bus one of the most popular public transportation in our countries, and every person when go to another other district from her district, her hometown district, and they try use a public bus, public transportation, and they prepare. And there are two type public bus, that is a, AC or non AC. And another question answer is for our country is driving sector is little bit popular, and because everyone respect her her personality, and they always try, if they get a private car driving, then they always try do it. But if they get a CNG or auto, they do not get it, they do not want to get a this transportation, because it's poor 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 person or lowest quality person is driving. And another thing that another question is most popular means transportation of our country. Most popular, and again I say that the most popular transportation is bus. Bus cost is so lowest, I think, in other countries, and our neighborhood or neighborhoods, India is so high cost the transportation. But I think our country's bus transportation cost is so lowest. That's why every person use this bus, and very comfortable feel they are when they go to other districts. Usually they use hometown area CNG or auto and private car. That's it.
Wow, so interesting. There are a lot of things to say about your public transportation. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Alice,
Thank
now
you.
it's your turn. Sorry, now it's your turn, Ta. Would you like to answer for us? Do you prefer public transportation or private transportation? And could you answer the second one? What's the most popular means of transportation in your hometown?
Um, I do prefer public transportation in my country because it's help people a lot. For like you said, if we 1% we drive the car and 10% they attend car. So I do like prefer public transportation. It have like traffic jam. There's no traffic jam. And if we use public transportation, is I think there's no car accident because if we use a lot of public transportation, our road is very we have a lot of space and it's very good more than private. transportation. And the second question is the most popular means of transportation in my hometown is we use motorcycle, motorbike. Am I correct in pronunciation? Motorcycle. We use a lot in Cambodia because we are in a developing country. Our people don't have too much money to buy a car. They don't have enough money to buy a car, so that's why the most popular means of transportation in my hometown they use motorcycle. That's it.
Yes, indeed. We use a lot of our motorcycle because it's quite cheaper and faster to get the place. So today it's quite impossible to me use a car or bus because my job is quite far from my home too, and I gonna lost a lot of time on the traffic. And you, Alice, tell us a little bit about it. What do you think the first and the second question here? What do you think about your country?
You are asking me the means of transportation in my country?
Exactly. And the second one, you can answer as the same because what is the most popular means? So you can answer the first and the second question.
Okay, I got it. Mm, I in my country, we the public transportation is well developed. We have many kinds of public transportation, such as subway, bus, and train. We also have flight, but the flight ticket is more expensive than the train ticket. Because we have high speed train. So in the in Chinese people's daily trip, if they want to go to the city, which is not far away from their city, they prefer to choose the high speed train. And for me, in my daily life, I prefer taking the subway to go to the office. Or on weekends, sometimes I need to go out to have some meals. I prefer taking the subway. The subway is very convenient. For most of the subway lines, in most of the subway lines, the subway runs every 3 or 4 minutes. So we don't need to wait for a long time to take the subway. But for the bus, we need to wait for longer time to catch a bus. Because for most of the buses, the bus runs every 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. So we need to wait longer time to take the bus than taking the subway. In my city, I think a lot of people don't own their cars because there are too many people living in Beijing, and the traffic jam in my city is very serious. So our government want to control the traffic jam. So it's very hard for us to own our car. Because the government wants to control the amount of the cars. And in order to own a car, we need to wait in a line for several years, maybe 10 years, or over 10 years, to wait for a car's license. But in small cities in China, the private cars is very famous because it's very convenient. People can take their private car to everywhere they want, and in every time. Because uh, in at night sometimes we don't have the public transportation, and if we want to go to another place at night, and if we don't own our car, it will be a little inconvenient. So that's why in small cities people prefer cars. And in small cities, we don't have very serious traffic jam problem, so people can have the freedom to own their cars. But actually, I think for people in Chinese big cities, such as me, we also prefer private car, but we can't own a car, so we have to choose the public transportation. But fortunately, the public transportation is well developed. Okay, that's all.
Yes, I've heard about the public transportation in China. China has one of the best transportation all over the world. It's very interesting to know a little bit about the subway at your country. I have heard some news about the subway, and it's quite developed. So you are a lucky woman to live in the middle of this big city and to have free access at this transportation. And so, guys, unfortunately, our time is almost up. Let's change for the next topic here. I'd like to discuss with you all, guys. Now it's your turn, Rajesh. We're gonna practice about the patient and politeness. The first question is, what do you think patient is? And you can answer the first and the second question. Do you think patience is important?
Well, so very nice questions and very interesting questions as well as patience and politeness. That means courtesy. It's a very simple word, a simple sentence. Courtesy is nothing but gains more. So any person is a good courtesy, and a good politeness, good behaviors, good patience. He is the good human being, and this type peoples I respect all the time, all the moments, anytime. So that's why I always try to keep patience any kind of works and politeness behaviors in my elders and the careful behaviors in my younger every time. And that's why some of people love me very much for that. My family, my relatives, and my surroundings, and that's it. And I always believe this sentence is courtesy is nothing but gains more. If any person he has no any good behaviors, has no any good patience and politeness, he cannot gain any kind of things. He cannot gain any kind of things. This is the first things, polite and patience. And we call every time I'm a smart boy, and I'm we looking for a smart person. But what is smartness? We should speak. We should follow this type of persons. Is belongs to the patience and politeness behaviors. Now this is the most important things, and it's everybody, every time, and the job sector, and the daily life. Everyone, it's very important. It's suffice to say that. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, man. Thank you. I totally agree. I couldn't agree more what you just said here. Patient is, of course, a sense of way. It's a way of thinking about the life. So patient, we can summarize things saying that patient is a way of thinking about our life. So, and the second one, patient is, yes, in my opinion, it's important. It's so important because as you can see, guys, if you just turn it on, the TV, you just turn it on the news at your country, at all over the world, you're gonna see people lose their patience, people doing crazy things, people fight each other, countries fight each other because they are not patient, because they had no patience. And maybe patience can be necessary, can be a needs for everyone, can be a need now for everyone. And then the next question, but let me ask for you, Charmy, it's your turn. The third one. Do you think you are a patient person?
Actually, I think I am, because patience is like something that you can prefer you can understand the situation well, and you can control yourself to avoid some negativity and some anxious moment when we feel so angry, or sometimes we feel bad and we can control ourselves, then it called maybe a patience, in my opinion. Actually, I think that way. That is that when we feel so angry about something, and we feel so sad, and that time when we can understand our feeling so well that we can control it, then it gives us energy that helps us to keep patience on those matters. So sometimes I feel that sometimes I'm gonna crazy when I am in a bad mood. But another way, I can control my feelings in a bad situation or angry moments, angry situation. So I can control my feelings, but sometimes I gonna mad when it's and one of the most important thing is like when I saw someone to insult another person, then it make me more crazy, and then I feel that I'm not keep patience on those situations. Another thing is that patience is only always depend on your mindset, and it's always make a situation like it also can be a positive side and also can be a negative side. So it fully depend on your mindset. If you think those situation in positivity with positivity, then you can control your feelings and you can do everything well. You can keep patience on every situation. But when you think about all of the situation in a negative way, then you feel anxious or you feel bad, and you gonna sad, and then you can't control fully. So patience on actually depend on mind. When you are when you gonna sad or anxious, and it's mainly occurs in those situations. So patience is like the your feelings that you express to someone, and it gonna be positive or negative also. So patience is more important when you are in a situation that you have to discuss someone with an important topic or important work you have to do, and you can't feel so good, and you have to do all of this work, but you have to keep patience on this situation, and you can't control your feelings. So it's very important then. And when we keep patience in our daily life, we can solve every problems in our daily life, and it make a person feel so positive, and around him all of the people feel very comfortable with him. So if a patient when it comes to a bad situation, then you always think about patience, but you can't control yourself. But I think this is very important for every man or a woman. And it's if I want to talk about my opinion and what I feel about patience, I think I can bear all of the situation, approximately all of the situation I can handle it. So I think I have a lot of patience in every moment, but sometimes I can gonna mad about some situation. So I think I have lots of patience, and I am too mature in solving a problem or handling any problem. So I think
Nice.
it's okay for me.
Nice. Thank you for sharing this. But let's jump for the next person here. Just a second. The number four. Now I'd like to know about Utah. Have you ever led or have you ever lost your patient with in some occasion?
Yes, if we talk patience, there are so many times that I lose my patience because as a human being, we have a patience, but sometimes we lose it because we cannot like we cannot stand anymore like the bad situation. As sometimes I remember that when I was at high school, I studied grade 12, there's a lot of like trouble situations. It was in COVID-19 and we study and I'm so bored, and I cannot cut the lesson. I didn't understand the lesson, and I feel like I will fail the test, and I cannot go to university, and all of this make me lose my patience. As I am at university now, I am feel like sometimes I still lose my patience because if we are an English learner, because English is not like we can say that it's not very easy to study. That's why there are other ways to improve our English. But sometimes it's still not enough. We feel like oh, we have to work on it more. And sometimes we lose our patience. That's it.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So do I. Sometimes I lost my patience too, even with my children, even with my wife, even at my job. There are a lot of times during the day that we, unfortunately, as you just said, we are human beings, so we are not perfect, and sometimes we're gonna lose our patience. But hopefully, we will not do any bad thing. We just lose our patience out of our mind, but we can recover it, and in some seconds after, we're gonna be very light again. So, guys, unfortunately, our time is not enough. I have no time more to practice here today. So, I really would like to say thank you for all of you to being here with me to spend this time. I learned a lot with you guys. I learned about Rajesh. Tell us a little bit about the place that you said. I learned about I learned about a little bit about the temple. Let me see, let me remember here the Angkor Wat Temple. Angkor Wat Temple. I learned about it. I didn't know until today exactly how can I call it, but I already saw, I already heard about the temple. I learned about the Chinese people that they are most population. They have a lot of good transportation, the quality developed transportation. They live in huge cities now. I learned that Charming told us that she preferred now public transportation because it's quite convenient today. It's quite cheaper and convenient. And I learned about Denker when they said to about transportation. So we learn a lot of vocabulary. We spoke a lot of topics here. We practice a lot of topics here. I know maybe you will not remember after we finish this class, but maybe in some classes of the future, in some parts of the future, we're gonna review this material. We're gonna review these topics, and we're gonna remember everything again. And that's just how English works. We practice by repetition. Rajesh, would like to say anything before we finish?
Oh, thank you, Alex. Tomorrow we shall meet again. And a lot of thanks to you because of every week you arrange this meeting. And we just wait for this meeting just for on 2 hours. Really, it's so interesting for me. And I love it. I love this meeting is very much. Thank you. Thank you once again for that.
Thank you, thank you. And you, Alice, would like to say anything before we finish here?
Yes, thank you very much for practicing with me, and I'm very happy to chat with you guys. And I hope tomorrow I can see you again. Thank you.
Nice. It's gonna be a pleasure to have you here, Alice, tomorrow too. And you, it's your turn. Would like to say anything before we finish?
Yes, thank you for today. Thank you everyone for our beautiful meeting. And yes, I hope tomorrow I can join on Sunday, uh, 10 a.m. at Brazil. I join tomorrow, and I'm really happy to be here to practice English with you.
Nice. It's always a pleasure to account with you, Ta. Thank you so much. And you, Charming?
Mm, Actually, first of all, thanks to all of everyone who are attending our classes every day, because it's very important that it's not the fact that you can't improve yourself or something like that, you can't practice. But when you are talking in English and you think you have to do, then it's very easy to continue with this. But if you don't have time and also you can't practice, but you don't think about it, then it's a very worst thing. And also for me it's very hard to get time to read about this English topics. But whenever I get time to practicing here, I always there. I try to attend our group sessions, because it helps me a lot. Because in other days I can't practice more, and I don't have enough time for this. But whenever this session is start, I try to, my best to attend this class, and it's helped me a lot in whole week. I didn't get enough time, but in 1 or 2 days I think it's worth it, because I didn't get enough time in other days. So in 2 days, if I practice 1 hour, it's really good for me.
Yes.
And my teachers also said me, also praised me that my improvement. So it's very good to have you all there, and all of you helped me a lot. And thank you all once again.
Thank you too. And you, Tanver, would you like to say anything before finish this class?
Thank you, Alex. How can I explore? I don't know, but I would like to say that I am always appreciate for you, and every day I when I get a practice with you and with other person, and I think day by day increase my fluently, increase my speaking skill, and it's so grateful for me, and it's so grateful for you, and uh,
Thank you.
it's impressed me, and last, finally, I say that thank you, all of, and thank you, Alex. Love you, Alex.
Thank you too, my friend. Thank you too.
Okay.
You both guys, you both is always welcome to our English speaking session. But now I'm gonna finish the recording. Just a second. I would like to ask you to stay here with me just for more seconds. But for everyone who are watching us on the YouTube channel, I'd like to say thank you so much, guys, for being here with us. And if you'd like to be part of our English speaking club, just leave in the comments below. And hope to see you all here in the next videos at our YouTube channel. Yes, you can.